5.
Okay. Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Funny Hot.
And very cool.
We should learn how to harmonize that. That would be kind of sick.
I know. And
Except for you would
very,
probably be really good at it, and I would be really bad at it because I cannot really sing.
I'm right here. You should be
You should
right
be right
here.
here. Hey
Okay.
everyone. Sorry that we took last week off. I was ill, and I don't think that anyone really wanted to hear me sniffling every 5 seconds. I am still recovering from this cold. So you may hear a few sniffles. I apologize in advance for that, but it's a lot better than it would have been if we would have put out an episode this past Monday. So
You sound great to me over here. I mean, I can tell you're a little stuffy still,
you.
but that's because I know you. So,
I am, yeah. I'm a little nasally on my meetings all week. I've been apologizing for sounding like early days Britney Spears because I just was
oh,
kind of
bang,
like,
bang, bang.
yeah, that's how I felt. That's how I felt like I sounded. So I'm glad I've recovered. I'm absolutely dying to crack into this right now. Like I've been
Cheers.
staring at it since we've been getting set up, just like fiending, absolutely fiending for a Diet Dr. Kelp.
I hope the crack read this time. I don't know. We'll
I
find
don't
out.
know.
We'll
I'm
find
really
out.
tired right now, which is good because I need to go to sleep immediately after we film this. And for anyone who cares, it's 4:42 p.m. And the reason I have to go to sleep is because I have a flight in the morning that requires me to wake up at 2 a.m. and leave for the airport by 2:45 because I'm flying out of Baltimore like an idiot at 6 in the morning with oversized sports equipment and checked baggage. So
Liam,
yeah, wish me luck. Oh my God, I haven't even had a sip yet.
you're already so eepy sleepy that you can't keep it together.
So tired, but this is caffeine, which isn't good. Um, but I do have a vat of pasta I'm gonna eat for dinner and then hopefully just like take 8 ZzzQuil
Yeah,
and
take like
go to
a
bed.
nice post dinner like carb nap.
Yeah. But I don't know. I don't know how anyone else is the day before traveling, especially like a big travel day, but I get anxious for not just my flight anxiety, but just to like anxious excitement to go. So
Hmm.
I can never sleep. And I especially screw myself over with morning flights because I know I'm not going to sleep. And then I just spend the next 3 days exhausted. So,
Yeah, I always get that way before like events and vacations in general. Like we could literally
yeah.
just be like driving to my aunt's or like growing up like driving to the same beach house we always go to. Like,
Yeah.
stuff like that. I'm not sleepy before Santa came. Like,
Yeah.
you
Santa.
know, I know him. But
It
like,
feels good, speaking of the holidays, like to be back in a routine. Santa is now not on my mind, and I feel like so excited that it's over. Every year, I'm just like, wow, finally, Christmas and all the holidays are over.
yeah, I just feel like it's always tough because it's just plans on plans on plans. Like, regardless of family time and diet and all of that,
Yeah,
we're like, I mean, and our friends and everything, we're always constantly like booked up, busy,
so
going
much shit
to
going on.
different things and people
Yeah,
hosting different parties. So then
which
added
I
on
love
top
and
of
I
that,
always look forward to. But in
I
the middle of
know.
it, and actually more towards like the end, I'm always like, okay, I'm done. My social battery is negative a million. I need to get back into my routine. I feel like shit because I've just been eating like 4,000 calories worth of sweets a day. I'm at my parents' house, so I'm not really working out. I'm like not waking up early, like all these things.
Yeah.
And it's just funny because I feel like we go into the holidays so looking forward to that time off. And then I'm halfway through it and I'm like, get me out of here.
Yeah, I'm like,
Get me
I've had
back to my
enough.
life.
Literally put me back in a routine. Not that I want to
Yeah.
go like work or anything, but it's just like I'm
No.
out of my enclosure. It feels naked out here.
Yeah.
I'm scared. I'm
I'm
hiding in the
scared.
corner.
Let me back. I love some enclosure time.
I know.
It's the
And so,
best.
especially in like after Christmas and everything, it's just always cold and cozy because you're
I
like,
know.
ooh, it's January. Don't want to go anywhere. But
I know
I've
that.
been dragging my ass to the gym.
Hell
Sucks.
yeah. Hell yeah, girl. Hot girl walking it up or not?
I started hot girl walking in the gym, which is new because I
Yeah,
normally hot
yeah,
girl
that's
walk
what I
outside.
do. Mm-hmm.
I've always done it outside because I like having like the different environments you pass things and stuff. I like to like look at stuff.
It's
But
hard in the winter though, and it's why I feel like so many people who do 75 hard and all of those challenges on TikTok, I'm like, oh, you don't live in a cold place, do you?
yeah,
Because the one like workout a day that's 45 minutes that you have to do outside. And like, don't get me wrong, I love to go on morning walks, but it has been in the teens here.
yeah.
I'm not doing
Well, and
like,
my thing is like I've grown up in the cold, so like I can bundle up. Like if I feel like going outside, like I'll bundle, I'll do it. Like that's not the issue.
yeah,
It's now we
I'll do
have
it.
snow and I'll do it. I don't care. But like now we have snow and precipitation on the ground, so it's like no
Yeah.
one fucking plows all of the sidewalks or the walking paths. Like I'm literally
Hazard.
still every time I pass this one walking path near me and like it there's still snow there and you can see
Yeah.
footprints but like it hasn't
It's
melted away or anything. I'm like, people are
it's
literally
stuck.
trudging through this.
Yeah, it stuck so much in DC because it snowed a few inches and then got freezing, which is
Hmm.
nice that the snow didn't immediately melt. But like I was walking to CVS literally yesterday. It hasn't snowed in a week, and the whole path was still frozen solid with snow. And I was like, this just feels like I'm gonna tear my LCL again doing something stupid.
For sure. And I'm also like, I want to walk in my fucking athletic sneakers. I don't want to have
Yeah,
to wear
and not
snow
fear for
boots.
my life.
Yeah, I don't want to get my shoes, like my socks wet, and then my feet are
Yeah,
even colder. So anyway, all this is to say that I've done now in 2024 my first like hot girl walks indoors, basically,
nice.
where I've done like 3 to 4 miles on the treadmill, and I realized that treadmills power down after an hour, so that's really fun if I want to go longer than like at least the treadmills I'm on. They have a time. You know how
Oh,
sometimes there's time limits on the
yeah.
machines? It's
Which
an hour.
honestly, I respect
I
because
know.
sometimes there are, and I think every piece of equipment in the gym should have a time limit built into it because sometimes it just drives me crazy. Like, don't get me wrong, I love a long walk, but I feel like there are some people who have the awareness and etiquette in the gym to be like, oh, it's really busy and there isn't an open treadmill. Today isn't going to be the day that I walk a 10K.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll do that tomorrow and I'll come at 2 p.m. so no one will be here. It's not 5:30 p.m. on a Wednesday and everyone and their mother is trying to exercise and I'm hogging one machine for literally an hour and a half.
Well, and the other thing is, do you have 3 to 5 treadmills in your gym or do you have 52? Like the gym
Yeah.
I'm in
We
right
have
now has a
4
whole
and
slew.
that's incredible. We have 4. I mean, it's just like in a small apartment gym, but they get booked up so quick. And the other thing that bothers me, and we can get off of our gym etiquette soapbox in a second, but I'm
We'll come
stuck
back
on
to it
it
eventually.
for now. We have one set of like cables, like one
Mhm.
cable machine that has 2 like ends to use, I guess. And a lot of people like will feel weird about using the other one if someone is on the other one and I'm always like, "No, it's fine. Like of course you can use it. I'm not using both." But some people use both to do like flies or whatever, and then they use it for 45 minutes. And I'm like, "That is the only cable machine in our gym. It's used for very specific exercises and resistance that I can't get with a dumbbell. Please wrap this shit up."
Yeah.
It just really amazes me. I'm like, "Well, I don't wanna be doing a cable workout for 45 minutes anyway.
Yeah, and you know
What
I'm not
are
gonna
you doing?"
like walk up and offer and be like, "Do you mind if I work in?" Like,
Oh, oh,
I'm not gonna go between sets.
I'm
Absolutely
sorry,
not.
but rotating into any machine that requires body to leather contact is a fucking no from me. Unless you are gonna wipe it down in between every set, which of course you don't because 9 times out of 10, the person asking you this is a man. It is the most I had someone ask me that once on the, like, quad extension machine where you're sitting and, like, kicking your legs out.
Mhm.
And I was like, rotate like, home like, my butt is sitting here in a pile of my own sweat that I was comfortable cleaning up after I was done, not after every time my set is done and then you're gonna jump in like it was
Yeah,
ugh,
I don't know you. I don't know what your ball sweat has been to. Like,
no.
go away.
I don't
Let
know
me
where your
let me
butt has been,
finish.
and even more realistic, I don't know if the clothes that you're wearing have been properly washed literally ever.
I
Like,
learned wait, I learned a fun is a loose term. Fact today.
that
Um,
men don't know how to do laundry?
it's worse. Um,
Okay.
I was with my sister and she does Hi, Kelly. She does retro toy and game like collecting and also selling. She has a store, Retro and Rad. Shout out, non sponsored. So we were running some errands today on her day off, and we stopped by like one of her friend's stores. And he's a little bit different because he also does like playing cards and stuff. And so
Hmm.
he has places in his like shop where he's like an official place to play games like
Oh, that's
Magic the
cool.
Gathering, or like if you want to do like Pokemon or like
Yeah, so it's
Yu-Gi-Oh
like
and
a little
stuff.
social aspect.
Yeah.
I love that.
But apparently for I believe it was Yu-Gi-Oh, there is a rule for like they're these to be like an official space to host competitions and like battles and stuff, like you have to follow certain rules. Like I think
Mm-hmm.
Magic the Gathering is like if you're selling any cards, they have to not be able to be viewed while things are going on. So it's like he
Okay.
has like curtains to like pull across. And then
Oh.
like for Yu-Gi-Oh, apparently you have to wear deodorant. They made that a rule.
You want to know? That's really interesting because, and this is going to sound really awful of me, no one smells worse than a mega fucking nerd, dude.
Oh, I know. And
Like,
everyone else in the business knows except for the smelly people.
why? Why is this a common denominator among people who have niche interests like that? I got on a metro in downtown DC. Sorry, I was already on the metro, and then all of these people boarded it after I was already on, and it was my space, okay? No, I'm kidding. But I was on the metro. We pull through like Gallery Place City Center-ish,
Oh God,
where
I know where this is going.
Comic-Con had just like let out for the day. It's like
Yeah.
5 p.m. on a Saturday. So my car then gets filled with people who had attended Comic Con. And I'm sitting there and
This
I'm,
for those unaware, this Comic Con takes place, I forget the actual name of it, but this con takes place in the middle of the fucking summer.
yes, middle of summer. I am, as we have discussed many times before, a motion sick bitch. So I'm on the metro and I'm already nauseous for that reason. I'm also nauseous because I had done this fun thing where I forgot to really eat all day. And then my motion sickness like reminded me that I was really hungry. So then I got double nauseous because I was also fucking starving. And then this brigade of people who went to Comic Con get on my car, and I have never smelled the smells that I smelled that day. The amount, like, the air must have been, dude, like 95% body odor particles. I'm not even
And a
kidding you.
hundred percent humidity.
I would have loved to do like a scientific swab of the air and been like, you just had 8 years shaved off your life for breathing that in for 45 minutes.
Like,
Like,
how bad is it that places and like official games and things of that nature, literally, in order for it to be like official and for you to participate, they have to write in rules for you to smell clean and like shower and wear deodorant?
Kelly should put free deodorant samples like on the counter of Retro and Rad. It's like, sorry,
I
that's awful, but
I
I
know this is getting a
grow
little
them.
mean, but I do sometimes visualize like just making her a holster that she could wear where like it perfectly like holsters a Febreze bottle or something, or like a Glade
Yeah,
spray bottle so she
like
can go
the
around in
Roblox guy.
aerosol. I will put so many holes in this ozone layer because of
Oh
these
my
fucking
God.
nerds. And you can put that on my bumper sticker.
I want to interrupt quick and say something kind of sad.
Oh no.
My kelp is not kelping. Like, I don't know if I've just had them for too long because I was saving this one knowing that we were recording,
Oh
and
no.
it's not that spicy. Yeah, I'm pretty upset, but
Meanwhile, I'm literally trying to put myself on mute so I can burp while
it
you're
could
talking.
it could also be because I'm still a little congested, so maybe my taste buds aren't fully taste budding. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
when
but
you
I feel
can't.
like if it's spicy, you at least feel it.
Yeah, it's more of a sensation, I suppose. But no,
That's so sad for you.
it's not hitting. Yeah. Hey, have you ever done a spit take like in real life?
Yes. Well, I don't know if I necessarily have. I've almost done it, but I've literally, okay, I don't know what's going on, but in the this month of January, in the
Mm-hmm.
day of our Lord, January 2024,
The Monday of
um,
months.
yeah, that's what I meant. I don't know. And the,
Okay, we celebrate God all month long.
Yeah, we celebrate God all year long in this establishment. In the month of our Lord of January of 2024 in this
Yeah,
year.
by the way, if you're new here, that's not true. If you're new here, that is not fact. We are
Kimmy
doing a
loves
bit.
Jesus, pass it on. Anyway, so this month, twice, I have made people spit take actually spilling liquid out onto the
I don't know
surface in
why you're
front of
so
them.
surprised, Hannah. You host a comedy podcast.
I know, but I've never been that funny where this has been like a frequent thing.
Hannah,
Um,
you're a funny girl, okay? You're funny and you're beautiful and you're talented and you're
that's crazy.
smart.
I always thought I was funny, hot, and very cool.
You are. I love that for you. I'm
Today,
so glad that you're
actually,
getting the giggles out of people.
my sister, I made like a Vine reference and I like inserted some word that was out in the wild that we were looking at, like the name of a
Mhm.
place. And she spit it out her coffee on her steering wheel as she was driving and like got it on her pants and everything. Like literally most inconvenient. The other person was Abby, and I said something while she was here visiting,
Mhm.
and she spit out at the breakfast table her coffee, like on the whole
Gosh.
table.
I know that I have done two spit takes, and I can't remember what the second one was. I can only remember the first one, but it was a few years ago. I was in our friend Brad's backyard for a 4th of July celebration. I think it was 2020.
It was COVID.
Yeah, it was the COVID times, hence why we were hanging out outside, but also like 4th of July. I feel like that probably would have happened anyway. But our two friends, we have two friends named Ben, were there, and our British Ben was wearing like shorts and a button down, and our other friend Ben, who we've all like been friends for years, just looked at who we, for the sake of this podcast, will call British Ben, and he goes, Ben, I don't think I've ever seen your knees before. And I spit out whatever I was drinking at the time because it was so funny. Like, you know, Ben,
Yeah.
British Ben always dresses so put together and so not proper, but like he always looks
Well,
nice,
I
put
think the
together.
other
And
thing
then
is
to
like
see him like dressed down, the other Ben was just like, dude, I've never seen your legs. And I lost my
we
mind.
haven't because we all know each other from work. So it was like, of
Right.
course you've never worn shorts in the office and like
Yeah.
you're not wearing a dress or a skirt, but
Of
like
course, you're not rocking your kneecaps at your desk, my dude, but it was so funny to hear someone say it out loud. And I was like, yeah, we are all friends from work and we don't normally see each
I
other's
feel
knees.
like it's funny because we are friends, but it's like, I feel like it has to be a jarring experience to see people that you always see in an office environment.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
it's like seeing a teacher out in the wild, but, like, seeing them,
totally.
like, out, like, in, like, shorts or, like,
I
I
feel
don't know,
like
for some reason you have, like, an office pool party or they go to your pool or something, like, what if
no,
you
that
show
was a
up there?
unique experience because we all were, it was like all of our first jobs out of college. So we were young and fun and like our social lives revolved around work because it was also
Correct.
very social. But the idea of like being in a pool with one of my coworkers from
With
one of my
Alan
jobs
from
after that,
accounting.
yeah, like, no. I
Like,
don't even really like being friends with my coworkers anymore, if I'm being honest. And it's not just because I don't like them, it's because I have enough friends. And now,
yeah,
like, now I'm in my career. I'm not here to be social. Like, that job was very much like I took this because I got it, not because I wanted it. And now I'm like, I care about my actual job. I don't need to like be besties with everyone. Like, and it wasn't even besties, it was just fucking drinking buddies, which made it even more
oh, what
complicated.
do you call this then?
I've been short. Hannah and I are friends from that job, by the way,
We
everyone.
are. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
I see where
Well,
you stand.
okay. Yeah, I'm not gonna keep digging myself in this hole.
No. I'm just giving you shit. But yeah, I'm like, okay, like people go to pools because not everyone has a pool, or like, I don't know, and
Yeah.
you just like run into your coworkers there. That has to be so jarring. But like,
Yeah.
thank goodness we were all friends when you saw Ben's niece for the first time, you know?
I know. Oh, I wish I could remember what my other spit take was from. I get them not like often. I don't get them often. I get really close, like a lot.
Yeah, I feel like
And
I've
I
mastered the art of like I have like I would spit take, but I'm not going to because it's funny and I want to laugh out loud, but I have something in my mouth where you're like,
I guess it's easy for me because I'm such a fucking beverage goblin that like I most likely always am drinking something.
I have at least 3 on me.
At least three. I stay strapped.
Keep that thing on me.
Even right now to record, I have two, which is unnecessary, but they're
I do
here.
too.
A water and a kelp
Correct.
and a lip balm. Like I can't
Yeah.
be more than 5 feet
And if
away.
I don't have a little moisturization to go with it, what's it even about?
Then what? Why am I drinking water?
Why am I here?
Yeah, I don't know. That doesn't sound very fun for me. I want to go back to talking about hot girl walks real
Oh,
quick.
sure.
So I love a good hot girl walk. However, I'm over it being associated with this whole like clean girl aesthetic.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I don't think my hot girl walks have ever been clean girl aesthetic.
Yeah, well, I feel like TikTok did that where they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna go
100%.
on my walk and I'm gonna wear my like." Also, I'm absolutely like shooting myself in the foot right now talking about this because as we are recording this, I have on minimal makeup, a cream sweater, and my nails are cream, which is the
Hmm.
exact like
And your
def.
hair has like the slightest blowout to it, so it looks natural, but
Thanks.
done.
I did it with a straightener actually.
Hot.
I know I'm an artist. Yeah, this whole clean girl aesthetic of like, oh yeah, like wearing heavy eye makeup is so trashy and like wearing dark lipstick is so trashy and like not having color in your apartment, and, like everything has to be grayish. I'm just so tired of that whole narrative, whether it has to do with how you style yourself or the space you live in. Like, holy shit. Yeah, I'm just over the whole clean girl aesthetic. And I knew that I said it was out in 2024. And now I'm like, I'm a trendsetter. Everyone's following suit. And the whole new thing on TikTok is that mob boss wife aesthetic is in, which like Loki Hannah, I feel like really is your vibe because it's like long nails and fur jackets and like you love a fur jacket and you
Hmm.
love your cheetah print and I'm like I'm so here for this and everyone's like heavy eye makeup is back which I guess was a Saltburn thing and I'm like no shit.
Yeah. I also I'm getting a bit over the whole like I mean, I guess it always has been like certain aesthetics are in and out every
But it's
year
gone
or
too
like they
far.
go yeah, it really is based now on like hyper consumerism and it's like every
Mm-hmm.
fucking 3 months people are like buying all this shit and like it's Temu, it's Amazon, it's Shein. Like I'm just like at some point like and I get there is a certain extent to wanting be to be in and trendy and whatnot. Like the mob boss
Totally.
shit, I'm excited for because I actually have stuff
That
in
already fits.
correct.
Yeah.
I'm like I have stuff that fits this. I have the maximalist vibes. I like love it. I'm excited
Mhm.
about that. It never fully left me, but like, I'm just like why are we just pushing all of this like consumerism and waste onto
And
people?
pushing it all into a category.
Correct. And it's
Everything has to
just
be categorized. Like, have you been shopping, like online shopping recently, where there will literally be drop downs that categorize the type of fashion, like cottage core,
coquette.
Barbie-esque, like
Mhm.
Barbie aesthetic. And I'm like, why? Like, they get so hyper specific.
And I get like for the Barbie movie, the release, sure, or you have a
Yeah.
strawberry shortcake collab and you want to do like cottagecore,
Yeah.
or it's close to EDM festival season, so you have like raver shit
Right. That
category.
makes
Like
sense.
that stuff makes sense to me. But
Hmm.
I think like to really have all of these new trends and new styles be like so hip and big and everyone doing them all at once, everything everywhere all at once. But like, like Coquette, I feel like kind of started to come around in the last half of last year. And now
Yeah.
it's like everything's fucking Coquette. Like you
What's
got
coquette? a stupid
it's
bitch.
like the ballerina core shit with like
Oh,
pink,
yeah.
like delicate, putting bows on everything,
Hmm.
like all that kind of stuff. And great, Valentine's Day is coming up, but like let's not forget that October for Halloween decorations had a lot of pink in it. And
Right.
like there were a lot of pink Christmas stuff this year.
So, and bows on trees.
And
Everyone
so
put a freaking bow ornament. There were bows being used as ornaments.
and it's the same thing with the Stanley tumblers now is kind of similar too. It feels like what happened with Beanie Babies. And this is the thing. Stanley has been around forever, right?
Yeah.
And double walled whatever fucking water bottles and thermoses have been around for a really long time as well. And
Mhm.
Stanley makes something that's functional and chic, and they come in different colors and designs or whatever. It's fun,
Mhm.
but now it's to the point where it's like you aren't an it girl or
No,
you
kids
aren't
are
like
getting
cool.
bullied.
Exactly,
Kids are
unless
getting
you have a fucking huge Stanley.
Yeah, I saw a video recently where this guy bought his sister, like his little sister, a knockoff Stanley for Christmas because he was like, it does the job and you're welcome. You wanted a water bottle. And she was like, I can never bring this back to school. Like, I'm getting bullied. And he was like, I dropped her off and it was true. Like, every person who was like, they're like in second grade, are walking around with these $60 cups. And if you don't have one, you're like not in. That's
Yes.
crazy.
It's worse than like when I was in middle school, it was the girls had the juicy bags, the
Oh my
juicy
God. Yeah.
tracksuits, or
Mhm.
like the Coach
Coach,
baguette things.
the little
And
bristlets.
yeah, or like
Yeah.
we weren't in middle school, we weren't allowed to carry backpacks between classes. So it
Interesting.
was like you're carrying your books, but you need something for like your fucking tampons and your pencils and your hand
Yeah.
sanitizer or whatever. I don't know if we're allowed to have hand sanitizer, but like, like all that shit, it was a weird time, but like all that
Yeah.
shit, like in your little like wristlet or like Coach, like baguette, like tiny bag, pencil case
Yeah.
version.
Yeah.
And people would be like, it's a fake, like hers is a fake or whatever, or
Yeah.
it's not, or
Coach
you got yours at
sneakers.
Marshall's or what, you know what I mean? And I
Yeah.
was just like, I was witnessing all of this and I was never one of the cool people to begin with. So I was like, thank God I'm already like exempt from this because I have nerd privilege. I have outcast privilege, so I don't need to be here. I'm literally wearing like red skinny jeans and a Hard Rock Cafe t-shirt to
Oh
school
my
with a
God. Do
guitar
I
pick.
have a school story for you about red skinny
But
jeans?
But to finish the Stanley Cup, I'm like, this is like that escalated where,
Hmm.
and now it's to the point where like I saw the local news, like everywhere has been doing bits. Like this is like a piece about the
On
Stanley Cup
Stanley?
craze, and it has people's clips from like fucking Instagram and TikTok where they're in Target and the Valentine's release of the Stanley
Yeah.
Cups came out, and it's like flip flop day at Old Navy or
Yeah.
like Black Friday Walmart
It literally is,
1992.
yeah, it literally looks like old Black Friday deals on like TVs, like the way that people are absolutely fiending for these like specialty edition.
And it reminds me of the Beanie Baby craze and how they created a bubble of Beanie Babies, and that's why they're no longer valuable and like considered cool unless you basically
Hmm.
have like the Princess Diana one.
Yeah.
So I'm
And
just
my
like
mom
sitting
has
here for
all of ours and then hopes to like eBay them one day and they just have no value. And I'm like, "Well, time to get rid of them."
literally donate them. They're not worth anything. And as
Yeah.
sitting here as an economist, I'm
As
just
a
like, yeah,
scientist.
as a woman in STEM and having a pulse on the economy, I'm just like, what are we doing, girlies? This is not
Yeah.
smart investing. And that's
I'm
why DIY is
here.
in for this year.
Yes, and I'm here for clean girl aesthetic. I mean, it can stay. Like, if you don't like wearing heavy eye makeup, I don't care. But I hate when that's like the association with modern beauty. It's like if you don't look like this, then you're not in and trendy or pretty or whatever. And I'm like, we already have enough societal standards holding us down. Like, why add having to be this trendy and having all of the name brand shit? Like, why add to that?
Yeah, and it's all
Just,
cyclical. It's gonna come back, or you'll
yeah.
be
Ain't
considered
that the
retro
truth?
someday too. Like
I
people who
know.
do makeup like set 60s, 70s looks. Anyway,
Yeah.
back to
I
your
wanna
school
tell my
story.
my red skinny jeans story. So I went to a whoa, to today junior did I don't know if that just picked up my stutter, but I just stuttered on the word private like 8 times.
People.
Um, I went to a small private Christian school from K to 8, and in middle school, I was kind of entering my like rebel era, and by rebel, I mean like I listened to emo music, and that was basically it. Other than that, I was a really good kid. I never broke any rules or got in trouble. But we had dress down days like every once in a while on a Friday where you didn't have to wear your school uniform. You could wear jeans and like a school t-shirt instead of your like collared uniform. And one of these Fridays, me and a few of my girlfriends, we were like, well, Delia's is like the talk of the town and they have colored denim. So we all were like, let's wear our fun colored skinny jeans. So I wore red skinny jeans to Jeans Day, which by the books is allowed. I guess not by the books, but on paper, a red skinny jean is still a jean.
Yeah.
And we all got sent to the principal's office for quote unquote being provocative and sending boys the wrong message. So apparently, because I was wearing tight red skinny jeans, I was like being so inappropriate and provocative that I was sending all of the little boys in my class the wrong idea that I wasn't a good Christian lady. So we all had to change and get in trouble.
Yikes.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
That aged super well.
the devil did come in skinny jeans
That's
and
what I've
multiple
heard.
colors.
I mean, we can only hope. We can only hope. I got in trouble for the weirdest shit in that school. I also got in trouble for having a picture of Guns N' Roses in my locker because they were holding red Solo cups on their Rolling Stone, like 30th or whatever the fuck it was, anniversary cover. And me and my friend Eric both got sent to the principal's office for it. And I remember my principal sitting there and being like, and kids, like, what do you think is in those red Solo cups? And like Eric was a little shit and he was a year younger than me. I was in seventh grade, so he was in sixth grade. Also, it's just like ridiculous looking back. I was like 10. Like, who cares? I was 10. They were holding red cups. Like, get over it. And Eric just looks at me and goes, Kool-Aid. And then we got in even more trouble for making fun of her. Um, so yeah, I also got in trouble for talking about Ozzy Osbourne once. Talking about he used to have this like festival in Florida called Ozfest, where it just was like a bunch of metal bands. It may have toured, I don't remember. But I was talking about it to one of my classmates and they overheard and they were like, he worships the devil. And then we got in
He eats
trouble.
a bat on stage.
Yeah. Ugh, bad. Jesus.
Oh, he has a reality show.
Anyway, so that was fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm over clean girl aesthetic. I'm in with mob boss wife aesthetic. I'm into Saltburn
Honestly, why be
makeup.
the wife when you can just be the boss?
That too. Like I don't need to just be the wife, although I would like someone to wait on me,
Yeah,
like
I don't want to have to do
not
all the work myself, but
work.
I guess that's what, being the boss is. You designate.
Yeah, I suppose. Have you seen Saltburn?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of fur coats and heavy makeup.
Right. That's why I was kind of thinking it's very aligned with that aesthetic as well.
So, last time we did say that everyone had to watch Saltburn prior to this
Mm-hmm.
episode. That was your homework, class.
Oh, we
Speaking of
did get
school.
homework. Mm-hmm.
Um, so now we can actually talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
I watched it alone and I laughed my fucking ass off out loud alone in my room.
Your comical reaction to things sometimes makes me laugh. Like you laugh at A Perfect Storm.
Yeah.
I can't say I laughed at Saltburn. Like I did go into it almost entirely blind to what it was going to be. I had seen some people's like reaction videos on TikTok, but I had no idea what the plot was. I had no idea who was in it. I literally knew nothing. I was back here on like December 30th or something, and none of our friends had come back yet. So I was just ordering sushi and watching a movie by myself. And I was like, oh, let me put on Saltburn. And I just sat there with my jaw on the floor pretty much the whole fucking time.
I didn't know any of the plot at all either. So I had no idea it was about like obsession and upper society in the UK and like societal norms
That
in
scene made my stomach
2006.
turn. And
Like,
I don't know if it was because I was eating sushi at the time or because
oh,
I pretty much live my life in a state of nausea, but I was watching that scene and I was just like, I can't. I also have, and maybe this is like weirdly connected. How
you
weird.
have drank someone's bathtub water before?
No, but I have a weird association with like dishwater and like things going down the drain as like being really gross, and they normally are, but I don't know why it like gives me this visceral reaction, and I relate it to why I don't like miso soup, and it's because the color and like consistency and like the random not enough chunks of greenery and the random and not enough chunks of tofu make it just seem wrong and like it should be in a dish in like a sink, like going down the drain. And I can't look at miso soup. I can't eat it. I think it's so fucking disgusting because it reminds me of dishwater. And so watching that bathtub scene, I was just like I literally cannot deal.
Um, I at first was like, because again, I was like, I don't know the context of like what this scene was supposed to be. So when it actually happened, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, because it's different than what I had envisioned. Weird
Yeah.
to say, I didn't really envision it, but and then I was like, oh, because it's dirty bath water, and that's what grossed me out. Was that
Okay.
it's used bath water.
Oh yeah. No,
That's the
yeah.
gross
I don't
part to me, and I was like, "Oh," but then I was
fair.
like, "Well, this is actually kind of funny because it's like it made me think of like fangirls. Like people would like
Yeah.
pay money to like, have Taylor Swift's dirty left sock. Like it
Which
was
feels
just
so
like,
weird.
you know what I
Also, like
mean?
it would be lukewarm. Ugh, like I
It would
can't.
be worse than lukewarm, but it's just like that's what was
Yeah.
really funny to me is I was like, people fucking do this. And it's just like I
People
think
are
there's
just gross. People
yeah, and I'm
buy
sure there
like
is some sort
parts
of
and bags.
yeah.
Like air sealed. I've seen some shit on TikTok of people being like my side hustle and then it's like selling work I almost said selling worky sellout clothes. No, selling sweaty workout clothes.
Yeah. Yeah, people want to have
I
your
mean,
sweat.
I,
People want
I
and that's where I'm like, like it's kind of funny to me in that sense because I'm like,
yeah,
people fucking would do this. It's not like that crazy to me to be like I could see that there's a decent percentage of people out there that I'm sure would be into that. But I also is just like the whole like point of obsession in people. Like I was just
mm-hmm.
thinking of all the fangirls on the internet that are like the stands in the comments that are like, oh,
Yeah,
like I would sell my left tit to like be in the 100,000th row of Taylor Swift's like tour. You know what I mean? And I'm like, to me,
okay.
that's what was
Oh,
so funny is I was like, someone would legitimately like this is
would
not
do
that
this.
far removed.
Yeah.
And those
Did
are some of the
you
people that are like grossed out by this scene.
did you know that the grave scene was improv?
Yeah, I did see his interview on that, which I thought
I
was cool, honestly.
I thought it was brilliant, but also can you imagine being the director behind the scenes and just standing there being like, uh, uh, oh, oh my God. Oh, okay, keep the cameras rolling. Like I would be,
Yeah.
I just want to
I
know. I wish we had like the flip of filming.
I also just want to know it's like one of those things where it's like if you had a dick, what would you do with it? Or
Oh,
like
I
whatever.
think
And
about
women are like,
this.
I'm putting donuts on it,
I
whatever. And
think
it's
about
like
this all
and
the
I'm like,
time.
I wonder what because I think that was actually his, right? I don't think it was a prosthetic penis.
Oh, I do not know. I'm sure I will find out soon now that we're talking about it and my phone is unlocked. It will be all
Yeah.
over my TikTok.
I don't remember, and I'm not gonna look it up because I don't care that much, but I'm like, if that was his real dick, like, what did that feel like? That must be an interesting sensation.
Must be.
That's
Yeah,
what I
also
couldn't
like
stop thinking about because it's like wet dirt.
yeah, we told everyone to watch the movie. So if you haven't watched the movie, that was a big spoiler, but fuck you. You should have done your homework.
Yeah. I think that was the only part. So I think right up to the grave fucking scene, which is about an hour and a half into the movie, I thought a lot of things were very funny. And that was kind of one of
Yeah.
the first times that I was a little bit like, oh, what the fuck?
It felt very like A24 level of unsettling to me, where the whole time I was just like, this is weird. That's weird. That's weirder. Oh, I feel bad now after watching that scene. Oh, my jaw's on the floor. Will I ever recover? Will I ever unsee that?
But at the same time, I was the whole scene leading up while he's crying in front of the grave, I was like, is he about to fuck that grave?
No way, really?
Yeah, I
Oh
felt
my
it.
God.
I was like,
Whoa.
he's gonna do something sexual to that grave. I didn't think he would actually like
Yeah,
fuck the dirt, but I was like, he's gonna
because
like
the tension was
jerk
there.
off
Like
on
jerk off,
top.
yeah. Yeah,
The tension was there. I was like, he's gonna do something to that grave.
yeah. That grave is not safe. That
No,
grave is not
girl, you
consent.
are not get out.
That grape did not consent to that.
No, you're in
Oh
danger,
god.
girl. Like,
Speaking of, are we good with Saltburn? Do we want to keep
oh
talking about
yeah,
it? You guys can
fabulous
talk
movie,
about it
so
for
funny. And then I think for about like 15, 20 minutes, I was like, what the fuck is going on? And then
yeah.
it was funny again at the end. So
Mm. I
I
just feel
want
like
to watch it
I've talked
again.
about it for like 8 episodes, so I'm like, if I don't shut up, everyone's gonna be bored.
Yeah, no, this is our legitimate, like, Saltburn coverage has been covered. Now it'll only come up
Saltburn,
as relevant bit, if that. I doubt it.
Saltburn has been covered. Check the box. Moving on to another movie-based topic.
Mm,
It is just a quick one. We don't have to deep dive, especially because I haven't seen the movie.
I probably haven't.
Um,
You know how I am with watching movies.
Yeah, the new Sydney Sweeney Glenn Powell movie. So I said that they were out in 2024, and that's not necessarily themselves as actors, but their relationship. I need to stop talking with my hands too because it's like weird on camera, but I do
I've
a lot.
I put on nails and I'm click clacking
Yeah,
everywhere all the time.
I'm clacking it up.
I can't help it. I just feel better.
All the PR surrounding that rom-com, I think it's called Anyone But You. They
Yes.
act so flirty, and now they're like the TikTok PR content that I've seen surrounding it is feeding into the narrative. And I'm like, first of all, they both have serious significant others. If I was either of those parties, I would feel so uncomfortable about it. But I saw one the other day where they were like responding to a TikTok comment that said it's just the way they look at each other. And they like did this whole like we're gonna go into a romantic stare, and then of course ended up making a funny face because it like negated the comment or like made it seem silly. But then like the way they both looked at each other and laughed after making the funny face, I was like, I would kill someone. Like that just proved this weird chemistry, but I still can't tell if it's all for the bit or if they really did the nasty and cheated on their significant others.
I I have a hard time with these TikTok edits, and I touched on it a bit last week, but like this is where I'm just the editing and the speculating together makes things
Yeah,
like it's like reality
it's
shows when they take things out of
impossible.
context and then like
Totally.
make people seem like absolute bitches, and they're not. They're just like
Yeah.
portrayed as the villain of the season. And so I'm like,
Yeah.
you expect people who filmed a romantic movie together and had to break down barriers and get to know each other pretty damn quick and act that way
Hmm.
to not be like funny, goofy, friendly?
Yeah.
Like,
No.
I feel like
So I
after those
do
movies,
think
people either hate each other and are like so cold, or they're
mhm,
like, you know, very
besties.
much like
Yeah.
BFF, which,
I
sorry.
do feel like a lot of it is like the TikTok content I'm seeing that's like feeding this narrative, and it's making me mad because I'm like, oh my God, it's like so hard to watch.
Yeah, and then at the same time, I saw something about, and I can't remember if I talked about this last week or not, but Henry Cavill was sitting in an interview and did something where there was like some girl in a cast of, I don't know if it was a show or a movie he was in. I think it was a movie.
Hmm.
And they were on like some sofa doing an interview somewhere, opposite ends, and they made
Hmm.
eye contact, and she like smiled and like blushed and like looked down, and he also kind of
God.
smiled as he looked away. And then, like, people in the comments are like, these edits need to stop. Henry Cavill has gone on record and saying that anybody under 18 that he works with is business only. Like, he's super respectful. He's talked
Yeah.
already about, like, this actor in particular and said
Like
that
that he
she's,
even
like,
had to say something.
whatever. And, like,
Yeah.
people are like, Henry Calvert's literally gone on record saying like how he handles situations, and he's like the most respectful, never done anything bad. And it's like this girl is under the age of 18 and just made eye contact with Henry Cavill in the
Yeah.
middle of a serious interview. Regardless, like of course you're gonna blush. And then
Right.
how do you, I'm sitting in an interview and I happen to make contact with somebody that I've like worked closely with and have some sort of relationship with. Like,
Hmm.
of course I'm gonna be like, oop, do not make
Yeah.
contact.
Yeah. I don't know. TikTok is a dangerous place. I've actually considered deleting it recently because
Oh
it
no.
just it feeds you whatever you want to see,
Mhm.
and it's really scary. Like I have been dealing with basically an unknown allergic reaction that I keep having an allergic reaction, and
Kimmy's dying.
yeah, and they don't know what I'm allergic to, and it's like been scary because it happens with no common denominator. And so I'm like, when is it gonna, and it keeps getting worse, which is really the scary part. But anyway, all that to say, my TikTok is now feeding me content about like unknown allergic reactions and skin conditions and like all of this stuff. And I'm like, holy shit, my medical anxiety is already bad enough. I don't need all of this. And it's like, now I'm on this side of TikTok that's like simplify your skincare. And it's like, you really shouldn't be putting anything on your face besides moisturizer and cleanser. And I'm just like, it just feeds you what you think you should see. It's so crazy. Whereas like 1 month ago, I was on like have a 10-step skincare routine. And now it's the opposite because it's just, it's insane. It's absolutely nuts.
I feel like it's so similar to honestly like diet and like
Oh,
clean
yeah.
whatever culture
Clean. Yeah.
where it's like because I think that became super like influential while we were still
Hmm.
younger. So the early days of the internet or the early days of social media at least.
Hmm.
So I feel like it's similar but different in the fact that like social media is going to feed you stuff you want to see or whatever. But it's
Yeah.
the same thing with like once you start looking at companies who are promoting like certain diets and clean eating and healthy whatever, and you start reading about shit, like there's 500,000 books probably.
Right.
That's an exact number of like the best ways to eat and how to live longer and how to save whatever and like be skinny forever. But the thing is like every body is different,
Yeah.
every person is different, every environment is different, like things
No.
affect people differently, and it's just like I have to like you have to take the approach now. I feel like with diet culture, a lot of people are so much more informed where it's like we all understand this for the most part, are the
Hmm.
educated folks, and we've done the research and we've looked into things and we've, you know, read this. Like we're not going to automatically give in to like the fucking diet pill
Like
commercials that they
Atkins.
used to
Yeah.
like put on late night TV or whatever.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's the same with social media where it's like, or even watching something like World News Tonight, I feel like there's
Hmm.
so much excitement build up around certain news stories that like get you
Hmm.
so glued in and they build it up so much. And then it's like, it's just fantastical type of like, they
Yeah.
just blow up certain scenarios beyond what they really are. And I feel like it's the same as social media. So once you start to inform yourself and you
What
realize
was
that
the
like,
word that we like learned in AP Gov? It starts with an S. We can cut this out if I don't remember it, but it's like not superficial. Oh my God, I can't remember. But it's like a sensational.
yeah, they do
It's
sensationalize it. Well, I
it's
had
like
one
sensationalized
in
news.
college. The my professor, the term was infotainment. It's
Yeah.
information, but it's marketed and it's produced for entertainment purposes because ratings, subscribers,
Yeah.
likes, comments, like all of that is valued higher than getting information correctly. So it's like
Yeah.
having these fucking edits about Sydney Sweeney are like more important than just like,
Totally. I
putting
know.
something flat out there. So once you
Anyway,
realize that people are doing that.
I'm gonna maybe delete TikTok so that it will stop telling me that I'm dying.
Yeah, I'm just like every
Yeah.
time I see something like that, I'm like, I gotta take the information with a grain of salt, do my own research, which
I
fucking
kept telling
sucks.
it like, don't show me this. Like, show me something else. Like, I don't want this
And the
content.
more you pick it, the more they're like, here's
Mm,
more.
maybe, but have you seen this one? This one's kind of
It's the
sick.
same thing, but they say one word different. Do you want to see
Yeah.
that?
You want to know what side of TikTok I simply cannot get off of because I actually can't stop watching it? It's like those cooking videos that are the end product is something you will never want to eat.
I literally just watched one
It's
before
like
we started
a
this.
deep fried bacon wrapped stack of Kraft singles with like ground beef in it. And it's something I would never want to eat. And I don't even like get hungry by looking, nothing about it appeals to me, but I can't stop watching them.
I
I
love
cannot
them.
stop.
I love them, and I love when people react to them. Let
Like
me tell
Zach
you,
Choi is one of them who
let
constantly
me
makes.
this one I just watched. Oh my God, you're gonna
What
die.
was it? I'm
You're gonna
so
die as an
excited.
Italian. You're gonna die.
As
Okay,
an Italian.
Italian.
As an Italian, by the way, this whole mob boss wife aesthetic, the Italian Anti-Defamation League is gonna be all over it.
That's why I'm like, I
All
love
over
that some
it.
elements are things that I have in my closet already, but I was like, I've
Yeah.
never stopped wearing them, so I'm not really appropriating anything. This is just my style.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to this video, Kimberly.
Hmm.
Picture it, your favorite food, hot dogs.
Okay. Yes, slay.
Going
Okay, I'm
into
in. I'm in. I'm gonna
going
tell you at what point I would stop eating this.
Great. Okay, so
Okay.
then you take the large, like I think it's like a cannoli noodle or
Okay.
something,
Mm,
and you put the hot dog into the noodle. It's like a large cylindrical noodle that you would probably stuff for like manicotti or something. I don't know, but
yeah, yeah. Okay.
anyway, they called it a cannoli
So
noodle.
so it's pasta wrapped hot dog?
It's a hot dog stuffed in a like an extremely large penne looking noodle,
Okay,
basically.
I'm in. I'd still eat that.
And then you put them in a baking dish,
Okay.
all raw or
Mhm.
uncooked or whatever the fuck. And
Still
then
eat it.
you take your chili,
I would still eat this.
which she used from a can, and dump it all on top.
Okay. The canned chili appeals to me less. I think homemade would probably be better. But you know what? I'm gonna say it. I would still eat it.
Okay, hot dog in a noodle with chili. Add
Still edible.
in whatever measurement of water for the noodles to
Water.
cook.
Oh, okay. The noodles would cook in the water content of the soup, but that's besides the point. Please move on.
Then you top it with yellow mustard and onions. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Okay.
I forgot. Before the chili, you take string cheese and you cut the string
Oh,
cheese in half and you lay it on like in between where the noodles meet or something.
okay. Unfortunately, you lost me at the string cheese. That shit is way too waxy to melt properly.
Yeah, and it's like a noodle, and then it would like be like in between them, like on like where the dip is.
Yeah.
And then you put the chili on top, and then you put on your water, your yellow mustard, your
Why the
diced.
mustard? What is I love mustard, don't get me wrong. We've been over my
We know
re
it's all over your kitchen.
all over my apartment. I wish it was confined to my kitchen. But I love yellow mustard. Did you just hear me get nasally just then? I had to sniffle so bad and I tried to
I
refrain.
couldn't tell I was laughing.
Yeah, there's mustard all over my apartment. I love that shit, but putting it on
On
that,
on chili. And again, this
no.
is all uncooked. Um, you do your little mustard on top, and then you sprinkle your diced onions, and then you put
Onions.
ketchup as
Why?
well.
Why these creators always use ketchup as like a binder. They'll like put it in their meats and everything, and I'm like, there's oh my god.
They're just topping it off with like a drizzle down the like back and forth down the pan of mustard, ketchup, onions, and then your cheddar cheese or whatever the fuck cheese on top. So they sprinkled from a bag your cheddar
Okay.
cheese on top.
At least it's not
And
more string cheese.
true. And then I think they baked it after that. And then you
You
cut it
know,
and then you have like when they cut it though, they cut it like you would like a casserole, like you get like the square out
yeah.
of it. So then
Yeah.
it's like you have half like two halves of noodle and two halves of hot dog. And then
So
she's
it's
like
not like an
trying to
enchilada where you're like intended to get the whole wrap.
I don't know, but then she's like trying to bite it and it's like half the hot dog is like sliding out of the noodle.
Nothing pisses
Also,
me off
it's like
more than food items that can't stay intact, and I stand by this. It is why I hate
a BLT.
okay, I hate BLTs. I will get into that after this, but no. Number one, meatball subs.
Oh.
Meatball, and you want to know why? You bite into that shit, and every meatball comes like squirting out the back of your sub of your baguette, whatever you have it on. They just pop, 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 pop like little ping pong balls out the back, and you can never bite the fucking meatball. They always just slip right out. It is absolutely disgusting. I think meatball subs should be banned. I also hate BLTs, and the reason I hate BLTs is because they okay, I get sensory overload when I have oily things on my face, which also might be related to my allergy, but that's besides the point. Um, I hate the feeling of having like greasy oil on my face from eating, and you cannot eat a BLT gracefully because it's so goddamn crunchy, especially when you're just like toasting the white bread and then the little crumbs of the white bread get stuck in the oil that's also stuck on your face. No. Also, those are the three stupidest ingredients to put on a sandwich together. Bacon, lettuce, and tomato. That's it? It's just dumb. I don't know. I hate them. They're too crunchy. I know everyone loves the crunch. Live your life. I don't want it near me. Keep the, I'm passionate about sandwiches. I love things that are between carbohydrate sources, but I do not want a BLT and I do not want a meatball sub. They offend me. I'm
And
done.
that has been Kimberly's least favorite foods. Tune in next week to find out what she hates even more.
Or we can do a segment on my favorite foods of all time,
Well,
which, oh
back to
my
hot
God,
dogs.
hot dogs and spanakopita. It's what I've been eating for lunch every week because I got a giant box of it from Whole Foods in like a panic on Friday when Uber Eats wouldn't deliver to me because it was snowing. So spanakopita up there, plantains might be number one.
Hmm.
So those are two things that I'm really passionate about to offset my passion about the other things that I really love.
That's fair. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I love the shitty cooking videos, and I'm just like, it's normally gonna have 5 tons of cheese in it. It's normally gonna
Five
have
tons
no additional
metric
seasoning except for like salt and
tons.
pepper.
Absolute metric tons, and not just any cheese. Kraft singles.
Yeah. Which is
Why?
not cheap, by the way, in terms of cheese.
And like, have you had a Kraft single recently? But
In
like
the last six
not
months, yes.
on a burger.
Yes.
Okay. They're a weird consistency.
Hmm.
They're really melty, which
Hmm.
is great for putting it on like a sandwich sauce.
Yeah.
But like I had one in a wrap recently and it was so melty. It like stuck to the top of my mouth and I was like, I don't want it. I don't want
Yeah.
it. I don't want it.
Yeah, they're interesting because it's so highly processed.
I
But
know
like,
that's
yeah,
so
anytime
bad
there's
for
like
you.
American or like Velveeta, I'm like, where's this
Yeah,
going?
they're
Because
never good.
sometimes it's fine. Especially if you're gonna do like a queso or something. You're like, yeah, of course I want shitty melty cheese. But yeah, no, I love those videos. I love the reactions from like actual chefs and people. But
Hmm.
I have learned this
Hmm.
last year that a lot of those videos when they're mixing with their hands
Oh
are for people who want to watch people do things with their hands. Some people get their yeah, they get a kick out of
no.
a kick, if you will, out of watching
Am I
people
watching
like get
food
their
porn?
hand kind of.
Oh
And that's where
no.
sometimes people in the comments are like, well, they're mixing with their hands. Like, do we think this is a real recipe, or do we think like they're just trying to get content from the people who like find like hands like horny
Oh
central?
my God, Hannah, that explains it so much because they're never recipes that I want to eat. And
Yeah.
I hate watch it because I'm like, who the fuck is eating this? But people aren't eating it. People are being weird.
So when you see people like really getting their hands dirty and like not using like mixing utensils and stuff, it's more likely either they're purposely doing not using utensils to mix for that, or they've like found some bullshit recipe or something. But also a lot of the time it is real recipes too. But it's weird because there is
Yeah.
like one girl who does it. I don't know who it is, but you can always like sometimes the cameraman guy will chime in and say something. And
Hmm.
it feels like the like stereotype that you would see people make fun of with like porn, where there's like some random guy like it's like, "Oh no, this pizza's so big and I don't have any cash." And then you have like a guy be like, "Oh, well, maybe we could work
It's
something
a,
out." You know what I
yeah.
mean? And it's
I have
like
another
some like
idea.
guy behind the camera being like, "What? Where'd he come from?" You know?
Yeah. Ugh.
You're like, who is
Okay,
this guy?"
well, that's weird. I hate that.
Yeah, so just be aware, but that's why I like watching the reaction ones because at least it's gonna be funny and the people in the
Yeah.
comments aren't gonna be creepy.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I
Wow, I feel
know.
enlightened. Well, this is a science podcast, so makes
We've
sense that
talked
we're
we've talked economy, we've talked societal norms and trends, we've talked relationship, we've talked
I think we've
food.
really covered it all today. This was probably a long one, everyone. We should start ending our episodes like how the Amanda show used to end. Do you remember when she would be like, I gotta go shave my grandma's back?
Remember
And
when you
then,
said that and you said my dead grandma's back?
okay, well, I didn't mean it that way. I'm just, I
Oh god.
gotta go find my passport. Bye, everyone.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I gotta go pickle some brains. I don't know.
Fun. Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to do mad scientist vibes for 2024, so I'm gonna have jars
Mm,
of pickled organs,
I love
shrunken heads.
little fetuses.
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
Feti?
fe- great question. We'll come back to you guys with that. on
When
next
we
week's
talk abortion
episode
next week.
when we continue our scientific knowledge dropping.
Work. Okay. Everybody have a good week. Stay dry, stay warm,
Make
stay
your Valentine's Day
safe.
plans or not.
Yeah. Have a good end of January. Are we at the end of January? That went
I
fast.
would say we're at the end of January. Yeah,
Wow, that's crazy.
sounds good
Okay.
to me. All right.
Well, time flies when you're stuck in a loop. Okay.
Hi,
And on
stupid
that,
idiot.
bye, stupid idiots.
Bye.